Where you going, work?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm making a video about the 10 things I hate about the 72.
There's a lot of things I hate about that car.
Oh, come on, baby.
It's rough.
Yeah, but reliable. Kinda like me.
Oh, yeah.
Alright guys, in this episode we're going to talk about the 10 things I hate about my 72 Nova. Now for those of you that don't know, this is my 72 Nova, dubbed the Jenko Nova because of the ratty Jenko stripe we put down the side of it. We built this car in less than 6 months for as cheap as we possibly could with just budget-minded used part. Most of this car is assembled with used parts. I've basically been daily driving this car and it's an absolute blast, but I wanted to share the 10 things that just drive me nuts about this build. Number 1, are you gonna paint it? Every single time we take this thing to a Cars and Coffee or a car show with my grandfather and friends, there's always some guy that's like, wow, you did a lot of work to this thing. Are you gonna paint it? No, I'm not gonna paint it. She's done. She's done. Man, one of the best parts about this car is that you clean it with a Scotch pad. Watching the old guys see you do this when you get to a car show, they love that. I could do your car next. Stop! Alright guys, please take a second and head over to the YouTube channel and click that like and subscribe button. Every single one of you that subscribe makes a huge difference, so head on over and do that for me. Now back to the action. Number 2, there's no heat. As you can see, the heater core, well, it's just not doing nothing. I said before, I've been basically daily driving this unit. We're in November now, and it is cold. Number 3. The exhaust system. So this car just has a factory exhaust manifold to a downpipe to a small coffee can style circle track muffler. And when I first did it, it was 100% the cheapest way to do it, and it worked great. But now it just sounds like when I'm leaving for work in the morning that I'm firing up your weird cousin's 86 K10 pickup truck. This thing is just loud all the time, and it's not even a good loud, it's just loud. Thing sounds like a darn tugboat. Number 4. So this car is a stick shift car and there is nowhere to put your coffee. I drive this car to work. I need my coffee. And when you're trying to drive stick and hold the coffee, you wind up spilling most of it on yourself. So no cup holders. This is really starting to drive me crazy. While we're in here, let's touch on number 5. The Saginaw Trans. This Trans was given to me for free, and it was part of a 4-speed swap. We went from a Power Glide, 2-speed Power Glide, to the Saginaw 4-speed, and the Trans was free. It was great for doing the swap, but I hate the Saginaw transmission. The shifts are kind of sloppy, and this thing does not want to downshift from 3rd into 2nd. Ow! No matter how you double clutch it or anything like that, you basically have to come to almost a complete stop to get this thing back into 2nd. So I hate the Saginaw transmission. Number 6 has to be this trunk. It leaks. I can't imagine why. Every time it rains, it fills up with water, and it's a disaster. Now for number 7. The 10 bolt that's in this is the 10 bolt that came out of our 69. It's a 8.2 10 bolt. It's an open rear end. So the one wheel peels on this are definitely a deal breaker. The other thing while we're back here is actually number 8. We put the original leaf springs, the original mono leafs that came out of the 69 in this, and these things are shot. This car, when you do like a burnout, it almost does like the worm. It is so bad. Number 9 is actually a bone that I have to pick with all late 70 through 74 Novas, and that's the weld-on hinges. Why would you do this to me? Everything through the late year 1970 through 71, 72, 73, and 74 got a welded on door hinge on both the cowl here and the door. And if you go to replace the door, it's just an absolute nightmare. Also, trying to fix pins and all that stuff is a disaster because the door is welded to the car. When we replaced the rotted out, like the severely rotted out door that was originally on the car with this also severely rotted out door that was off of a 70 that I had, the 70 was an early enough year 70 that car had bolt-on hinges. So you can split the hinges and leave the welded hinge on the cowl. and run a bolted hinge on the door. Keep in mind that you still only have about 50% of your adjustment to get this door to fit right. Luckily for me, this one fits right. It does. Is that an airplane? You kidding me? That's the loudest airplane in the planet. Son of a bitch. We're trying to make a video here. And lastly, number 10, it's just not fast enough. This is a stock 68 327 210 horsepower 2-barrel motor, and it's just slow. I mean, this thing cruises at 80 miles an hour all day long with the rear gear that's in this thing and that Saginaw transmission. This thing tacks like 2,400 RPM at 80 miles an hour. It's a great cruiser, but as far as like around town quick, like stoplight to stoplight racing, this thing has none of that. It does first gear burnouts for 300 feet, but that's about the best it's got going for it. It's just too slow for me. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for this video. Just wanted to get something out for this week, and don't worry, we are still working on the 70. In fact, Mike's actually in there wiring it right now.
Help me! This car's almost done, but he won't let me go until it's finished. I haven't seen my kids in a week, my wife divorced me, and I haven't eaten in 3 days. Help!
So next week we'll be back on the 70 for sure, making the mad thrash to get that thing ready. The last day at the track is November 26th, so we still got a lot of stuff to do before we can have that thing actually on the racetrack. This is my 72, and that's what I hate about it. So drop something down in the comment section there, like, subscribe, share to your friends, and we will see you next time.